Noelle Schnacky is 18 years old and the founder of Hope for Heart Kids, a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to extending and saving the lives of children with congenital heart disease. Her mission is deeply personal, inspired by her cousin Tyler, who bravely battled hypoplastic left heart syndrome for 15 years before passing away shortly after a heart transplant. Determined to honor his legacy, Noelle has transformed her grief into action, raising awareness, funding critical research, and providing tangible support to children and families impacted by CHDs, the most common birth defect in the U.S., affecting 1 in every 100 babies born each year. Through Hope for Heart Kids, Noelle has partnered with the University of Florida's Congenital Heart Center. She has written and donated over 1,000 children's books on CHDs across 7 states, launched impactful campaigns like 100 and 100, and used her platform as an American Heart Association youth ambassador to educate and inspire heart-healthy living. To date, she's helped raise over $150,000 for CHD hospital programs and initiatives, and is expanding her impact nationally through hospital visits, collaborations with Seacrest Studios, and the growth of the Hope for Heart Kids Legacy Scholarship Program. Fueled by the belief that behind every heartbeat is a story, Noelle's work proves that one mission driven by heart can impact an entire generation, turning heartbreak into hope and creating a future where every child has the chance to grow up healthy and strong. Please welcome to the show, Noelle Schnacky. Welcome to the She Believes She Could podcast. I'm your host, Allison Walsh. This show is dedicated to helping you show up, shine bright, and achieve abundant success. Each episode is packed with advice and actionable resources to elevate your mindset, confidence, business, and brand, all while focusing on your happiness, well-being, and success. I am so excited that you're here. I can't wait to get started, so let's get to work.
For the women who do it all, and then do a little more. We're here for you. At Advent Health for Women, we created the region's only women's health navigation team to make healthcare simpler. Our registered nurses will match you with the right doctors, schedule your appointments, and more for you and your whole family, so you can keep making hard look easy.
All right, Noelle, I'm super excited that you are joining us on our show today. Would you mind just sharing a little bit more about yourself with our audience?
Of course. So my name is Noelle Schnacky. I am Miss Florida's Teen 2025. I'm the founder of a 501c3 nonprofit called Hope for Heart Kids. It was inspired by my cousin Tyler. He had a congenital heart defect at the age of only 15, ended up losing his battle to it. So as a result, I started this nonprofit to continue on his legacy. I'm tremendously blessed to be here today. I just graduated from high school, so I'm stepping into my college era. It's crazy that I'm already 18. I just can't believe it, but I'm just tremendously grateful to be here on the podcast and get to share a little bit more about me and my story.
Oh, I'm super excited that you are joining us, especially for this series, which is Make a Difference, and something that you've been doing for a very long time, obviously impacted tremendously by your cousin, and that was the precipice to starting your nonprofit and doing all of this great work. But let's talk a little bit more about what you've been able to do, because the impact that you've had is significant.
Yeah, so I started my 501c3. It definitely was hard to get it as a 501c3, but through just my family, the support system that we had, it was a dream that I had, and now it's achievable. I've been able to partner with many organizations. I started going to the Chamber of Commerce, really like building those local brand partnerships. And from there, it skyrocketed. I really started with McCoy Federal, but then now I have partnerships with the Orlando Pride, with the Orlando City Soccer, and now the Orlando Magic, just ones that are coming alongside Hope for Heart Kids because they see the value and continue to advocate for congenital heart defects and for cardiovascular health and awareness. And I've also been able to create my 5 children's books. That's one of my favorite parts about just everything I've been able to do, is continuing on my cousin's story. Through a book. I'm not an illustrator, I'll be real. I'm not an illustrator, I'm not a writer, could not do any of it, but I had a dream and I knew that my passion and my purpose was way greater than any excuse I could come up with. So now I have those children's books and they're impacting the heart community and the heart families, and it's just super cool to see that my books are touching lives.
Yeah, and you've been able to take them into hospitals and give them away. So let's talk about that. Like, what are the books about? Share with those listening, so if they're curious about what you've written, what you've created.
So 3 of them are for congenital heart defects. And actually, a couple of minutes ago, or about an hour ago now, I was actually serving at Arnold Palmer Children's Hospital, and we had this family come up to us because I've gotten to go there a couple of times now. And they came up to us and they showed us a video of their baby who actually was in the middle of a heart transplant and said, I just want you to know the time previously when you came from the heart party, we got your books and we've been reading those to our kids every single night since the day that we got them, and they're touching our lives and they're touching our families and our kids, and they're helping them get through having a congenital heart defect. And we also have 2 of them for the point of view of a sibling. So the siblings have been reading their books, and just being able to have that little bit of encouragement, knowing that my nonprofit is impacting the heart community more than I even know. So having them come up to me, sharing me that story, then even giving me a clip of just their kid smiling so bright, and he was in the middle of a heart surgery as we were talking. It just really eye-opens you to just how much need the heart community has.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is so common. And I think, I've learned a lot from you too, and just getting to know more about congenital heart defects. And so, but you also are very proactive and helping your generation as well understand these, and like, what can we do to be heart healthy and all of that. And there's just such a nice correlation with everything with the American Heart Association. So let's talk about that. For those that are listening, they're like, oh, well, I don't have one. What are some of the things that they need to know about CHD in particular?
Specifically with CHD, is it's 60 times more common than childhood cancer. When I go online, I'm always seeing these commercials about cancer patients and these families and different asthma and all this stuff, but you don't really ever see them about congenital heart defects. So from that young age, especially when my cousin passed away, there was a fire inside of me that I needed to make an impact in this community. But just being able to see the financial burden that it was having on my aunt and my uncle, and even this day after their son passed away 10 years ago now, they're still getting sent those medical bills. And I just knew I had to make an impact in the heart community. So I started my 100 and 100 campaign. Is really focusing on not the dollar amount, but rather the community that we're building to support the heart families. We're able to raise $5,000 specifically for congenital heart defects. That went towards the little things people don't think about: the baby shushers in the hospital, the rocking chairs that are needed so that the moms can actually hold the congenital heart babies. Because there's some families that can't even hold their baby after they're born. And I know specifically for me, when I have a kid, I want to be able to hold them and to hold my kid because it's mine. So I know that being able to help those families and those mothers in need, it's just super cool to see that this money isn't going towards just the research, but just to the little things that people don't think about that is really shifting the way that people see congenital heart defects.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the impact that you've had is significant. As you think about the potential of becoming Miss America's teen, your potential impact there could be that much greater. What are some of the things that you're looking forward to doing should you have that opportunity?
Given that opportunity, first of all, it's just so exciting, and it's even crazy that I have the privilege of getting to compete for Miss America's teen. But some of them is just simply going to the hospitals. I am a very hands-on person, being in person, being able to serve head or face-to-face with someone. I know that those in-person interactions are the ones that have really instilled truth into me from a young age. And just a couple of them that I've been able to do, whether it's at the Orlando Health, the Advent Health, the Arnold Palmer Children's Hospital, or even going to the Orlando Soccer Pride game, when I got to go there and meet people face to face, being able to bring that joy and that presence into a room, it's really why I do this. It's not continuing to bring, although the scholarship money is great, like, woo, you know? But apart from that, it's really, how do I make people feel when I leave a room? And to me, that feeling the joy and feeling like a burden is lifted off of their shoulders. So if I were to be given the title of Miss America's Teen, there's 10 major children's hospitals that being able to travel all around the world and continue advocating for congenital heart defects and making it more aware is really what my mission is.
Yeah, well, I'm excited for you. I think it's going to be an incredible competition. We're certainly rooting for you and so excited. But I'd love to just shift the conversation, from everything that you've done with CHD to really your faith, right? Like, that is something that is so important to you, to your family. You all have made just such an impact. And really, I mean, when I think about a disciple, like, that is what I think of. I think of you, right? People that bring people into the church that love Jesus, that love God, that aren't afraid to, talk about that. So why is it important for those listening to really follow their faith and to be rooted and grounded in faith, especially during the times that we live in?
Having a foundation, you can't build on something that has a faulty foundation. And I know for me, I grew up in a Christian household, but it wasn't until I started going into high school where I really decided to follow God for myself and to have a relationship on my own. And I know that that was the pivotal moment that I was able to see God just start working in and through my life. Having a faulty foundation, living through it through my parents, I always heard about the amazing things God was doing in their life. but I never really knew if he could do it in mine. So when I started to walk out and I started to live the walking the walk and not just talking the talk, when I actually started to live the way according to the word, I started to see God work in and through me. Whether it was me getting offered up divine appointments to be able to minister to the ones in my class, at my school. I did a worship night at my school. It was the first ever worship night at Lake Mineola, and we had 300 public school students show up at the first one. Nothing that I could do on my own strength, but it was the obedience that it was so important that it was, honestly, because you're going back to your question, like, why is it important that you stand firm in your faith? If you really want to see God move in your life, it's the quiet place. It's what are you doing in your alone time that is preparing you for where God wants you to go. And I think about the story of David and how he was just a shepherd's boy in a field and he was fighting off the lions and the things that would come against him, but he didn't know that God was preparing him for the moment that he would defeat Goliath. And that's what I feel like my story is with even the Miss Florida organization. There were years and years and years of preparation that people didn't see, the isolation that I felt like that I went through when I was not being conformed by the world, but I was rather allowing God to transform me into a new individual. And through that, he was preparing me for such a time as this, where I was able to win the title of Miss Florida's teen and hopefully Miss America's teen, if it's his will. But it really is all to continue to bring glory back to him. And it all came from that obedience in what you're doing in your alone time.
Yeah. Well, beautiful answer. And one of the things that, you would just say over and over again is like, I'm here on mission, right? Like even in your preparation for Miss Florida, it was like, I am here to serve. I am here to be a vessel and to allow, me to be taken where I need to be taken in order to be able to do the things that I've been gifted to do. Right. And like that mindset and perspective for somebody, especially of your age, is so inspiring. And I'm really, really excited to see what God continues to do with your life, because you are a very special young lady. And I am excited for others to be convicted and compelled to pursue their faith more. And I think you are such a testament to that. And I'm just so proud of you. So I love that. I'm glad we got to have a little moment on that, because it's something that's so special about you too. And that is what this is all about, is showing up as your full self, your true self, and who you are. And so I'm just excited for you to be able to be you up on that stage and throughout your year of service, and continue to stay mission minded in everything that you do. So love that.
Well, thank you.
Oh, of course. Of course. So
50% of mental health illnesses begin by age 14, yet only 1/3 of parents regularly discuss mental health with their children. Advent Health for Children and Heart of Florida United Way are teaming up to change this. We're helping people take pride in caring for their minds by empowering them to join our new movement and be a mind leader. We've created resources to encourage conversations around mental health and help shape the next generation of mind leaders. Learn more and join the movement at beamindleader.com.
let's talk about a couple things that we love to discuss on this show, right? We love to discuss the power of branding, and we love to talk about mindset. One of our favorite things to talk about is confidence. You started a nonprofit and you wrote 5 children's books. You pursued your dream, fearlessly, and are now standing here, doing the thing, having had all of these accomplishments. But at some point, I'm sure you're questioning your confidence, or that was in, maybe in the back of your mind, am I able to do that? How do you encourage your peers to be confident enough in themselves to take that first step?
I think the best thing you can do is find common ground. I know there was a lot of people that would try to reach me in my life, but when they would come from the standpoint of always being perfect, it was hard for me to really feel like I was relatable for me. And they would speak, girl, you got that, like you can do it and all that stuff. But they never shared the hardship with me that came in the reality of trying to start a nonprofit at a young age. So when I had an individual come to me and start sharing with me, you can't achieve this dream, but there is hardship that comes with it. There is trial. There is times where it's going to be trial and error for you. You might not blow up on social media right away, but it's through your persistence, it's through your perseverance that you're really able to see something blossom from it. So I know for me, like when I speak to my peers, it really is finding that common ground to be relatable, to be real. Because I know when I share with them, I started my nonprofit. It wasn't easy. I had a dream that felt like it was way greater than something I could ever do. But it was having people that came to me and understood where I was at, that met me where I was at and was real with me. That was like, it's going to be hard, but we're here with you through it. That really allowed me to be able to start this nonprofit at this young.
I love that. And I mean, you've had just some incredible opportunities, you and your family, right? You've really built just such an incredible brand for yourselves, and you do so many good things with that. So can we share, for those that are listening right now that maybe aren't familiar, or this is their first time meeting you, give them a little behind the scenes on all the great things, and don't forget to tell them about the Grammys.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start. God's just blessed our family so beyond more than, I could ask, think, or imagine. But we started a youth group back in 2015. In 2020, it ended up closing down because of COVID. And then the Lord just really shifted our hearts to start as a worship collective. We put out music for literally 4 years only. And then God allowed us to be Grammy nominated, which was just such a surreal experience being able to go to the Grammys. But the coolest part was the numbers, the unity that we had with our whole family member, a group of 13 people all getting to go to the Grammys together and experiencing it for the first time. God's just so beyond good to our family and to us. But really our worship collective and the music is to continue to really just shed light into dark areas. Specifically, the song that I danced to at Miss Florida was a song called In the Presence from our worship collective. And it had words as anxiety kneels and depression is healed in the presence of his love. And it's us being able to really impact the community no matter where we are and no matter what we're doing. And that's what our family is we continue to go out into the world to be the salt and the light in the earth and just really just continue to ask God, use us. We want to be used. And that's really what our hearts are.
Yeah. And I mean, your influence and platform has tremendously grown too. I mean, your entire family are utilizing their social influence for good, right? And so for those that are listening and they're like, oh my gosh, wow, I know who she is now. I've heard them or I've seen them. Like that is a bold move too, right? To put yourself out there. And I know we've had conversations around this. Like not everybody's nice online, right? Like haters are going to hate. Like you're always going to be faced with that. But I think it's an important message for those that are listening to you right now, because they're pretty much everybody that listens to this show, they are putting themselves out there in some way, shape, or form to be of service, to make a difference, to, pursue or chase dreams. So what advice do you have for them? Because I know you've had to really come up against this a few times. And I know we've talked about your family just being rock solid and always there for each other. But what other advice would you have for those that maybe are dimming their own light in fear of what might come if they shine brightly?
You have to know where your identity is found. It's kind of going back to that faulty foundation. If you're not standing on something firm, then it's going to be really easy for everything to just crash and tumble. And I know for me, I used to try to find my identity in whether it was my appearance, whether it was like how many likes, how many views, all of those little things that social media kind of comes with it. But being able to really find my identity in Christ is how I started to stand firm. I knew once God spoke to me, gave me like so much confirmation that I am a daughter in Christ. And once I started to believe in it, not just hear it, but actually believe that I was a daughter in Christ and then started to walk out, I knew that he has plans to prosper me, not to harm me. So if something is coming against me, trying to harm me, God really helped me eye-open that it's hurt people. And they're probably struggling with something that you're actually able to minister to them rather than see them as someone who's attacking you. And there's been a lot of opportunities where it was the exact people that were putting hate comments on our family that were coming against us that end up reaching out saying, you guys are the reason that I ended up giving my life to Christ, or you guys are the reason that I ended up deciding not to commit suicide today. Like there's some things that are very serious that because of our obedience and continue to just know who we are in Christ, not looking left and right, but just running our race, we've been able to impact so many people simply because we know where our identity is found.
Yeah. I mean, that's beautiful too. And I think it's so important, back to what you said, you can't have a faulty foundation. Your intentions need to be pure. You need to know and trust that there is a greater mission and purpose for you, but that does require trust. And that's hard. That can be really, really hard, but you are wise beyond your years, Noelle. And I adore you. I'm so excited for you. I'm curious. One of the questions that we like to ask everybody that comes on the show is, who else should we be inspired by? I know you have this very, worldly perspective and have, I'm sure, been influenced by so many people, but are there other groups, organizations, families, individuals that just are phenomenal that could be a source of inspiration for those listening?
There's so many. Oh my gosh. I know the American Heart Association, if you're trying to live that cardiovascular health lifestyle, that heart healthy lifestyle, I 100% encourage you to go follow them, follow their story. They give you tips and tricks on how to really walk out that heart healthy lifestyle. And I know for me, it was hard for me in the beginning because I didn't know what apps to use to check to see if there's additives in it that could allow me to have cardiovascular disease. Or I didn't know, how many steps should I be having a day, or what foods are good, what foods are bad, like what to put in my body, all that stuff. But they help you. They give you things that are really achievable for you to do, to walk out and just add to your day-to-day lifestyle. So that's how I've been able to really shift my perspective on the heart community, but specifically for my faith it's just finding good worship groups. Yeah. For me, Elevation is one of the biggest ones that I listen to. Their songs make me sob. Like, I remember the week of Miss Florida, anytime that I felt anxious, just turning on something that speaks truth back into me and just fuels me up in the times that I feel like I've poured everything out has really just helped me be able to accomplish everything that God has. And you know, I'm not perfect, but I am just willing to be used. And I think that's something so powerful, even for this generation to know, is there's none of us that are perfect. God calls the qualified, not qualifies the called. So I know God, you know, I have imperfect parts about me, but he's just willing to use me. So I just lay it all down and I'm excited to see what he does. And I just encourage you too, if you're watching this, like, he's got a plan and a purpose for your life, greater than you could ask, think, or imagine. So start pressing in and just see what it is for you.
Mm-hmm. Love that advice too. Thank you very much. And I'm sure people are like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. We want to root her on, cheer for her, follow her. Where should they find you and connect with you?
Everywhere. You can find me anywhere. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, everything. You can look up Miss Florida's Teen or Miss America's Teen FL for Instagram. But also, if you're just trying to find me on literally anything, I'll be doing devotionals. I just am starting a series now called Let's Talk Truth that really speaks truth back into the young ones who have lost it and just helping them find their identity, kind of like what we talked about. So just being able to go on any platform, you can find YouTube literally everywhere. Look up Jaywalkers. It's JWLKRS without the vowels. But yeah, I'm just super excited, and I love if you want to come along this journey with me, so that we can really just help you fine-tune your relationship with Christ, or just be able to lift a burden off of you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations again on this massive accomplishment. And you are just such a testament to hard work, commitment, compassion, devotion. And I know that this is just the beginning, which is so exciting to be able to witness and support along the way. So thank you for being on the show today. We loved having you.
Thank you so much.
And that's a wrap on today's episode. I hope you found inspiration, insight, and maybe even that little push that you needed to keep moving towards your goals. Remember, you are capable, you are worthy, and you are meant for more. Whatever dreams are on your heart, keep showing up, keep believing, and keep taking action, because the world needs what only you can bring. If you loved this episode, it would mean the world to me if you take a moment to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with a friend who needs to hear this message today. And if you want to keep the conversation going, please connect with me over on Instagram at Allison Walsh. I'd love to hear your biggest takeaway. We've also got some awesome freebies that we've linked in the show notes, so make sure that you take advantage of them. Until next time, keep believing in yourself, keep shining bright, and never forget, I believe in you 1,000%, and my goal is that you do too. Take care, beautiful. We'll see you next time.